You're not bad with money. You're just not seeing where it goes. Right now, somewhere between your checking account and your digital life, you're hemorrhaging $219 every single month. That's 12 streaming services. Maybe a productivity app, a subscription box, a cloud backup plan, coffee delivery. Each one feels small, manageable, harmless. But here's what most people completely miss. That $219 isn't costing you $219. It's costing you $575,000. That's not hyperbole. That's compound math. And it's the gap nobody talks about. We call it the underestimation gap, and it's 2.5 times larger than what you think you're actually spending. Let me show you how this works, because understanding this changes everything about the choices you make starting today. Imagine you took that $219 and never spent it. Instead, you invested it. Not aggressively. Just a boring average 7% annual return. The kind you'd get from a standard index fund that tracks the market. Over 40 years, which is roughly the span of a career, that money compounds. It doubles. It triples. It multiplies itself into something unrecognizable. $219 per month becomes $575,000. That's real money. That's a year of retirement you could have had. That's the car you'll never buy. That's the sabbatical that never happens. But there's something even more insidious happening here, and this is where the underestimation gap reveals itself. You don't actually perceive that $219 as $219. Your brain has a built-in mechanism that makes recurring charges feel smaller than they are. Psychologists call it subscription amnesia. You signed up for something on Tuesday. By Thursday, you've forgotten about it. By next month, it doesn't feel like spending at all. It feels like nothing. It's just there. It's automatic. So when someone asks you how much you spend on subscriptions, you might guess $70. Maybe $80. Not $219. You're not lying. You're not being careless. You're just experiencing the gap between what you perceive and what's actually true. That gap is 2.5 times your actual spending, which means you're underestimating by about $150 every month. $150 times 40 years at 7% growth becomes another $230,000. And that's just the gap itself. That's just the money you can't even see leaving. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is depressing, but how do I fix it? The answer isn't about willpower or guilt. It's about visibility. Right now, your subscriptions are invisible. They're buried in credit card statements. They arrive automatically. You don't see them renew. The fix is almost stupidly simple. You make them visible. You track them. Every single one. This is what we call a micro-cut audit. You go through your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. You write down every recurring charge. Not in your phone. On paper. In a notebook. There's something about writing that forces your brain to actually register what's happening. You can't skip a line. You can't scroll past it. You're forced to see it. Once you have the list, you categorize them. Streaming, software, wellness, entertainment, productivity. Then you do something radical. You ask yourself if you've actually used each one in the last 30 days. Not whether you might use it someday. Not whether it's a good deal in theory. Have you opened it? Have you watched it? Have you benefited from it in the last month? You might be shocked by what you find. People regularly discover they're paying for things they completely forgot they owned. Subscriptions to gyms they never go to. Photography software they haven't opened in years. Language learning apps that sit dormant. Educational platforms with one video watched from 24 months ago. The second part of the microcut is the kill list. You're going to cancel things. Not all at once, because that's overwhelming and unsustainable. But strategically. Start with the ones you don't recognize or haven't used. Kill 3 to 5 subscriptions immediately. Not someday. This week. Make the calls. Send the emails. Actually cancel them. Then wait 2 weeks. Notice how you don't miss them. Notice how your life doesn't get worse. Most people will find they can eliminate $50 to $80 per month without any real impact on their quality of life. That's $600 to $960 per year. Over 40 years at 7% growth. That becomes $1.5 to $2.4 million. No, that's not a typo. And that money stays with you. It's not a sacrifice. It's a reclamation. It's autonomy. The third part of this is what we call the friction increase. For the subscriptions you do keep, the ones that genuinely add value, you make them harder to auto-renew. You don't just leave them on automatic. You set a calendar reminder for 30 days before renewal. You actually decide, consciously, whether to continue. This simple friction, a reminder, a decision, 5 minutes of attention, changes the psychology. It transforms subscriptions from invisible drains into conscious choices. You become the person who decides. You're not opted into things. You're opting in. And that distinction matters more than you'd think, because the moment you regain agency, you regain power. You're not just saving money. You're reclaiming autonomy. If this resonated, please like the video. Start your microcut audit this week. Pick 3 subscriptions to cancel. Feel what it's like to say no. And then imagine what $575,000 might mean to your future.